What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on this situation that with what's this guy name? Keith Olbermann, and him dragging Stephen A. Smith for his political views, right? So Stephen A. Smith first came out and said some things against the guy Kimball, who got his show canceled. Said that he said he was out of line, right? And Stephen A. Smith tries to he tried to either he tried to walk down the middle of the street on certain issues. He tried to play the middle on certain issues, or he'll go for low hanging fruit against some. It depends on who it is. Like with some people, he would just come out and drag you, depending on like if he think you're somebody without any influence or any pull, then he'll go all in and drag you and act like he's outraged by your actions or anything that you have said. So, but with this situation with Kimball, he kind of went after Kimball a little bit and didn't realize that he was going to get some pushback. And I'm gonna play the audio from what Stephen A. Smith said, and then I think I'm gonna read what Kimball said. Olbermann said about Stephen A. Smith. So here we go with Stephen A. Smith's comments.
In for him and hosted the Jimmy Kimmel Live show in August of 2021, one of my proudest moments. I did an 18-minute monologue, a comedic monologue, opening monologue. I'm still proud of that to this very.
And you notice every time Stephen A. Smith, it's always about his accomplishments or him. He always tried to interject himself in there. Shannon Sharp got fired. It was about him. Molly quit abruptly. It was about him and his accomplishments. What's the guy who was his co-host? He quit. It was more so about Stephen A. Smith. So this guy he just loves Stephen A. Smith. He all about Stephen A. Smith. I just wanted to add that before I finish, with this. But let me go ahead.
Every day, I love him as a person. I love him, his talent, the whole bit. That does not make what he said right. And in the times that we're living in, you have to be very, very careful about what you say when you open your mouth. And you can't associate a political group of people with a murderer. You can't do that. But that goes for both sides. President Trump shouldn't be coming out of his mouth talking about how, this was instigated and stirred on by the left. I love my man, Sean Hannity. I love a lot of people in our business and our industry on both sides of the aisle. None of them should be doing that. Nobody should be doing that.
See, that's what I've said. Oh, so Stephen A. Smith, he thinks that if he walks down the middle of the street, then he's safe. But what happens is he'll get hit from both sides. And it's not like in basketball. Like if he's talking about basketball or football, he may be able to get away with some of this stuff right here, telling people, I love this person, I love that person. But then you go out and your follow-up statement is an attack or an assault on them. And so in politics, when you talking political, it's not going to work like that. You have to, with the politics, you have to take a stand and be able to defend your stance. And Stephen A. Smith is not used to defending his stance. He's used to being able to just to say something, and it gets, it is what it is, because he's talking mostly about sports. He's talking about athletes who really don't really pay Stephen A. Smith no mind. So he really don't get any pushback a lot of times. And he stay away from, like, if a situation come up with owners, he stay away from criticizing owners and stuff like that, because they have power and pull, and then they can provide that pushback. So he'll go after the athletes. So now when he try to get into this political arena, it's going to be different for him, and so you can't, either you're going to have to defend Donald Trump, or you're going to be on, or you're going to have to be on the other side. But you're going to have to, politics, you got to take a stance, or either stay all the way out of it.
That's how I feel about it. And, that individual, that was him. And it was a sick individual that murdered Charlie Kirk. And we should be focused on the fact that we don't need to be seeing anything like that in the streets of America, no matter where you are. We are a civilized society. Okay. We're not supposed to conduct ourselves that way, and we're not supposed to be condoning any such thing. And
And he said he'll state the obvious. He'll also state the obvious and say it with emotion, like he said something profound. That's another thing about Stephen A. Smith, right? But I wanna see if I can go to what Olbermann said, because Olbermann kind of hold up. I want to go to Chris. Olbermann kind of said, like, called him a said Stephen A. Smith was for sale. Basically called him a prostitute, right? Which, let me see if I can pull this statement up. All right, so let me see. Oh, okay. So here's the statement. Just adding to what has been true for years, Stephen A. Smith is a effing idiot, and now he smells money prostituting himself and collaborating with the white. I mean, I'm sorry, with the West ring, West with the right ring. Okay, I don't know why. Now he's prostituting himself with the right wing, right? So that's the thing. Like, when he started to get into this arena and he makes certain statements against, people with power and pull, or people who are passionate about, like, if anytime you talk about politics, um, religion, or sex, like that right there really get people, I get that, that right there, those topics right there really stir people up. And so sometimes when you talk about those topics, like, it's no win. You got to, just like I said, you have to be ready to defend your stance. And Keith Olbermann comes out and calls Stephen A. Smith a idiot and a prostitute, right? And so now, from when we talking about sports, everybody already know that, like, Stephen A. Smith, we already consider him to be an idiot and somebody who is, his opinions are for sale. So, but they don't waste no time in that arena, like getting right at him. When he talking about sports, he can kind of drown out, like, small content creators, and ignore those people. But when he start making statements about people, like I said, who have money like he do, who have pull, who got a platform, and if he want to take a stance, this is going to be a whole different arena. I don't think Stephen A. Smith is really ready for this arena, because you get pushback. You get a lot of pushback, and you have to. He think that he's used to being somebody that is polarizing, right? A person who is polarizing, they're used to getting pushback. But this is a whole nother level of pushback that, like, that he'll be receiving. And I don't think he's ready for that type of smoke. I think that when you're talking about politics, political events and stuff like that, people who are passionate, they will take something that something that you said, and just hold on that for years. And you gotta be the kind of person that can stand on your on whatever you believe. You got to be able to stand on your beliefs, and that's not him. That's just not him. And so that political arena for him, he not cut out for it. He definitely not cut out for it. And so that's why, immediately he had to come back and retract, like, his statements. And he did do, like, almost try to clean it up a little bit, and said it, it was taken the wrong way, or he may have expressed himself the wrong way. But like I said, when you talking about stuff like in that political arena, you have to take a stance. You can't walk down the middle of the street and think that you're gonna be safe, because it don't work like that in that arena. Immediately, this guy Keith Olbermann just got right at him, right? And that's my take on it, man. I think this dude, Stephen A. Smith, like you can be phony and you can be fake and you can be for sale. And when it comes to talking about sports and stuff like that. But when you, like I said, when you throw your hat into that political arena, you start commenting on that kind of stuff. It's a whole different kind of energy that you're going to receive. And I don't think he's ready for that kind of smoke, because it's coming from people and it's also coming from people who willing to who can back up. They can, they got some pull and they can back up a lot of things and affect his life in a lot of different ways. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.